Welcome to the Blow Your Mindset podcast, where we unravel the extraordinary in the ordinary. In a world filled with jaw-dropping events, societal shifts, workplace dynamics, and domestic drama, we're here to explore the mind-blowing moments that make you go, wait, hold up, what? I'm your host, the Nicole Smith, your emotional intelligence thought leader that encourages you to maximize your emotional intelligence for success, survival, and to be emotionally brilliant. Together, we'll dive deep into the captivating topics that shape our lives and our mindsets. We're here to challenge your perspective, spark your curiosity, and maybe even redefine what you thought you knew. So buckle up. Get ready for a mental journey like no other. Blow Your Mindset podcast. Because the world is full of surprises, and we're here to explore them together. Get ready to have your mind blown. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Welcome back to Blow Your Mindset with me, your host, the Nicole F. Smith. And I'm so happy you're here. This season, season 5, you always hear me say I have dope guests. But what I am doing is I have guests where we're diving in to more serious topics, but the serious topics are showing you how to move from trauma to triumph, right? Because there's so much chaos and crisis going on today. If we just sit in it, oh my gosh, our mental well-being is just going to go downhill, and it's going to be hard to pull ourselves back up. So I want you, yes, you can hear the trauma, you can hear the stories, and you all have your own story. But I also too want you to hear the triumph, because one of the goals here, or the goals rather, in my podcast is we're challenging your perspective, we're redefining your mindset, we're sparking your curiosity. That is so important for me. I need you to just re-energize yourself, spark your curiosity. And we also, too, of course, maximizing your EQ, because I am an emotional intelligence strategist and expert, the creator of EQ Impact. And if you're viewing this right now on YouTube, you see my book up in the upper right-hand corner. You can go to my website, thenicolefsmith.com. You can get your autographed copy today. It will be on Amazon by the time you hear this, it's already on Amazon. So it'll be launched on Amazon. The date is October 31st. And so you can go out to Amazon and get it, but I would love for you to order it from my website, and so I can sign it for you and put a special message in there. So like I said, I always have dope guests. And of course, I have another one. I have another Nicole. It's going to be Nicole times 2, Nicole squared. Listen. Nicole's, we're pretty dynamic here. But let me go ahead and introduce my guest. Okay, Nicole Bright is a dedicated mother of 2, author, motivational speaker, and a certified life coach that specializes in helping, you ready for this? Helping her clients heal from divorce. Remember I said trauma to triumph, right? Through her coaching and speaking, Nicole Bright helps individuals put their lives back together. Her purpose is to empower people to become their best selves. Now you can understand the synergy and where I'm going with this guest. I want to welcome Nicole Bright. How are you, my friend?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you, Nicole. That was beautiful. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Like I said, us Nicole squared. We're pretty dynamic. And if you're watching us on YouTube, Nicole Bright is bright. She's beautiful and bright. And when I find individuals, whether it's social media, and I think, Nicole, we connected via social media, right? Yes. That's the power of social media. Listen, we use social media, we go, I don't want to be on social media and blah, blah, blah. There's so much negativity. But listen, Nicole, we've gained, I'm sure you have too, we've gained beautiful relationships from social media, right?
I haven't thought about, you're right. I haven't thought about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You control your timeline. I tell people all the time, you control your timeline. It's your timeline. You decide what you want to see on there. And I focus on finding dope people to just connect with me and fulfill me. And, I always say, fill my soul, fill my purpose.
Yeah.
Help me fill my purse.
All in one.
All in one, all in one. So I ask all my guests to come before we jump into your expertise and your business and so forth. I always ask my guest in your industry and your space today, what are you seeing that just blows your mind? Because this is blow your mindset. So what are you seeing today that just blows your mind?
I'm thinking on that. I think one of the biggest things is visibility. With
Okay.
back when was thinking about when someone presented the thought to me of being a life coach,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what that was.
Right.
No idea. Didn't know what a life coach brought to the table, but when I studied it, it was
Mm-hmm.
neat. So now I find that people understand what we're here for
Mm-hmm.
and they see the relevance in what we're doing. But I still get the people, and this is why I'm really trying to get out of here. They still don't know that there's a divorce coach out there
Yes.
that can help them do divorce. So I'm trying to get that visibility out. And then another thing is
Mm-hmm.
less shame in that you need help.
Right.
And I love it in this day and age, because back in the day, I'm telling you, no, this would not be allowed. This amount of transparency,
Right.
openness,
Right.
and no shame. When we talk about, different syndromes, like they talk about, what's the one that's really
The
popular?
imposter syndrome.
Yes, that's
Girl, we could talk
that's
about that all day. Go
that's
ahead.
really popular, and people didn't used to talk about that. It was just
Mm-mm.
internalized, and you don't talk about that. You just behaved a certain way. Like,
Mhm.
I started making these short videos, and one of my short videos, I'm looking into a mirror, and I'm doing my hair, and I'm looking all good. I'm like,
Yes.
okay, I'm looking. Oh, well, you guys stink, but what's going on inside of me?
Mhm.
I'm looking good, and so I'm enjoying that in this day and age that people are able to admit that they need help, and that makes it a lot easier to help people.
Yes. So, coming off of that too, I was just speaking to my mother about therapy and how the stigma has been reduced to go to therapy. And listen, I have a therapist. I see her once a
I'm
month,
looking
and
for one.
oh, I got a recommendation for you. Yes. So, but yeah, finding a therapist. And I remember my last session, I walked in and she's like, "So what's going on when you talk about it?" I said, "I don't know. I just want to talk." Because I just want to talk, because here's the thing, we don't want to lay that burden. We feel like we're being a burden to someone else when we talk about our problems, and especially in the Black culture. You don't take your business out in them streets. You just
Mm,
sweep it under the rug and keep it moving. And I know, be quiet. Shh, don't talk about this in the streets.
right.
And my cousin said, "Why?" She goes, "I just wonder, why are you going to therapy? Because I appear to be the strong friend. I appear to be the one that has it all together." She's like, "Why are you
Totally
going to
get it.
therapy?" I said, "I'm going to therapy for the people that don't go to therapy. I'm going because of those people." Yes.
Right.
But something you said, a divorce coach. Um, Removing the shame, because shame has to deal with a lot of you have a lot of guilt. That's
Yes,
when you are shameful, you're holding a lot of guilt,
that's right.
right?
Mhm.
Right. So tell us and the listeners, divorce coach, maybe like three things that you focus on when a client comes to you. What do you tell them that you can guide them
I can guide them into rediscovering themselves.
in? Mm-hmm.
That is the big thing, knowing who you now are. Because what people do not realize is what they think they're going to do is to think they're going to go back before the relationship and regain that person.
Mm.
I've lost myself. I need to be who I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
No,
No,
you're going to be a whole nother ball of wax, and it's going to be good because you're going to use all that you got from there and you're going to bring it here.
I like that.
And I think that's wonderful. So regaining who you are, and when I say regaining who you are, it's not who you used to be, it's the new you. So
Mm-hmm.
I think
Right.
that's lovely. Another thing people struggle with is repositioning themselves within the ex-spouse's life.
Gotcha.
They have them up here and they really need to go down here.
Mm. Mm.
And
Mm.
I had a young man, and he was trying to do all he could to continue this relationship, be the pocketbook, as I say. And I said to him, "Well, how are you going to live?" And he didn't even know.
He didn't know how to answer that.
He didn't know how to answer that because she was up here and the kids were up here. Yeah, the kids need to stay up here, but she needs to. Those are two
Yeah.
separate things.
Right.
So you have to redo that relationship with your spouse. And then if when you're dealing with somebody that has a controlling situation, that's a whole nother thing because they're still controlling them,
Mm.
even though they're separated. So yeah, so that could be number two. Another thing, another big thing I find that people are just unsure about kind of like unsure about how they're going to navigate it. Like
Mhm.
that person used to do all these things, right?
Right.
And they did all these things. They stayed in their lane, so say, and they stayed in their lane. And like now, you in all the lanes.
You in all the lanes.
So how are you going to pick up the
Wow.
pieces and do everything you need to do in life? Take your life back,
Mhm.
because you left parts here, here, here. So just becoming whole again. It's just very
Right.
important. Very
Because I'm sure people that are going through divorce, listen, I cannot sit here and say I understand how you feel as in being a person that has been divorced. I've been married to my husband for 27 years.
God
And
bless.
thank you. I don't, when people say divorce is not an option, like divorce is never on the table. Um, I just honestly, I've never said that. It's just kind of like we gonna work through this. And my reason for working through it, everybody has their story. My mom, my dad, and my stepdad, between the three of them, I always tell this story. Between the three of them, I have been through 10 marriages and 8 divorces.
Wow.
So when you talk about them finding themselves, yeah, but as a child too that has been through it, and something you said earlier, you keep the children up here, and I get that, but I think you also too need to take time to on that self-discovery. It's a whole new journey of self-discovery, right? And this is where
Right.
I throw in that emotional intelligence, being emotionally intelligent about it, being emotionally grounded, regulating, become very self-aware of who you are, because something you said, Nicole, is you are now a different person. Your soul is you're just gonna move a little different. Your soul is gonna be a little different. Why do you want to go back to that, right?
Right. Right.
And
Exactly.
so yeah, yes, I understand the children are up here, but yeah, I want you to be way up there too, right? Way up there
Mhm.
too. And yeah, I think that was a good point that you made. So I introduced you, and you are a divorced mom of two,
Yes.
right? So your story, usually when people become a coach, I love this, when people become a coach or a motivational speaker, they have a story.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
have a story. You just don't become a life coach. You just don't all of a sudden become a motivational speaker because you have something great to share. You usually become that motivational speaker because you have a story and you want to be that person for them, for others that you didn't have in your life while you were navigating that story, right?
That's right. That's right.
So, yeah, so the story after your divorce, you and I were talking earlier, you sort of lost yourself. And I'm sure there's many listeners out there going, "Yes, you lost yourself." So,
Mhm.
tell us a little bit about that and how you are now sitting in front of me looking stronger than ever. So tell us, I would love for you to share that with the listeners.
Well, first of all, I got married really young.
Mhm.
I was 22, and I thought I was old because I was really active in the church, and all my friends around me were getting married at 18, 19. As soon as they hit graduation, got out of the mom and daddy's house, they were married. And so I'm like, oh, when am I going to find my Boaz?
Oh,
So I'm looking around. And so I got married at 22. And what I did not know then is I had extremely low self esteem,
okay.
extremely. So, because it was a lack in me, I needed something. So what I needed is someone to guide me, lead me, as they say. The husband is the leader of the household. So I found that in my then husband. And I got myself in a controlling situation, basically, because I didn't think that I could navigate my own life. So I gave
Mm,
it over to him. Because in my childhood, I never had strict parents. My mom was basically a single mom. She was separated from my dad for years, And she just let us do whatever. And so I always wanted that sense of strictness, that sense of, okay, you have these rules to follow, but I never had that. So then I felt unloved, right?
Mhm.
I see all my friends with all these strict guidelines and I had none. So I'm like, she must not care about me. She doesn't give me any
Mm.
guidelines. So I got in the church. They had all these guidelines. Well, this is love. This is love. And so then I was like, when I married the husband and he had all these rules for me, I'm like, oh, he was really loved me. And so it turned emotionally and physical abuse and
Mhm.
all the control that was involved in the relationship.
Yeah.
And because I was in church, I did not think that divorce was even in my vocabulary. It really wasn't.
Wow.
I had like a couple of boundaries, but it was like in the sand. You know how the sand, the wind blows, and then next thing you know, the line blurs,
Mhm.
and so you're like, wait a minute, is that still my boundary? And so I found
Mm.
myself in that. And so then finally on March the 20th, 2018, I'll never forget this date. I was called up and I was told some things about my relationship that I did not know. So, long story short, by the next month, April the 18th or 19th, I was out of the marital home. I left
Mm.
everything. I would
Mm.
never tell a client to do this. I left everything because at that point, I hadn't even really held down the job much. I was a stay-at-home mom,
Mm.
in and out of working, and I just picked up a job maybe 8 months ahead of time that helped me leave. And I didn't have a car, so on the weekends I would rent a car to get to the job. And so a lot of things were happening within my life. I had already started my coaching business, by the way, but
Oh,
I wasn't
okay.
coaching in divorce though. I was
Oh, okay.
coaching
Gotcha.
married women that were trying to balance their lives, and I was helping them organize everything. And
While you were coaching while you were struggling.
yes,
And so you're telling other married women, "Go be great. You're amazing." But behind closed doors, you
yes,
were in the corner crying. You were dealing with
silently.
your grief, the grief. You left who you thought was your Boaz,
Yes,
right? You
yes.
left, and so you're grieving that relationship, but at the same time telling other women, "Go be great."
I had wrote the whole book by then. I was mentoring young women in the church, and that's how I got the coaching idea. One of my mentors, my
Mm,
mentees, they were like, "Oh, you should be a life coach," and so that's how all that started. So I've always had a heart to help people.
right.
Wherever I was at in life, I wanted to help them. And because I was having these silent struggles that I really wasn't verbalizing, I wasn't the kind of, we talked about that earlier, put my
Mhm.
business out there on the
Don't put
street.
your business out in the street, girl.
See, I would never tell people too much. I would
Mm.
never tell them things that I know they would say, "Run, girl, run." I would never tell them that. I would
Mm.
tell them just enough to maybe have a little bit of support. And so when I did end up leaving my then husband, I didn't have any clients because I'm getting a divorce now. And I couldn't help nobody, to be honest.
Yeah.
I couldn't help anybody,
Oh my
Nicole,
goodness.
because, so yeah, I cut all that out. I was just working the job on the weekends and I increased my time there to keep my kids. And I was only doing it like
Mhm.
in the daytime and on the weekends. So I had my kids. But the wonderful thing is when I moved on, I gained the better zip code, but it was a little apartment, but it was a better neighborhood. It was right by
Mhm.
their school. I had a wonderful support system. Everything was given to me, or I was kind of being able to pay on demand, and I was had a furnished apartment. Everything just fell into place. And so I found myself figuring out things for myself, fixing my credit, all this kind of stuff. And one day someone said to me, "Oh my gosh, you're doing so great." Like, I'm like, I am doing good.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
the coach in me was still there because I had coached myself through it all. And so
Mhm.
then I was like, this is for someone else. And this was around 2020. And I was like,
Okay.
this is for someone else. And that's when I decided to do it just for divorced people going through people,
Mm.
separation, in the midst of divorce, after divorce, every
Mhm.
stage of divorce, because you need it. And I wish I had it. I really do. I wish I really had it. And
So
so,
let me ask you this. I don't mean to cut you off, but let me ask
no,
you this. As you're going through, because I'm hearing a lot. Listen, my ears always to the ground for EQ, for emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
So when you decided to leave back in April, you said of 2018,
March 20th of 2018. Yeah.
2018.
Hmm.
Did you sit back and um did that let me ask this. Did it force you to look at your patterns? Did it force you to look at your habits? Did you question what role did I play in this? And
Definitely.
yeah, did you look where was my accountability in this? Did you look at any of that? Did you question yourself?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I
Yeah.
totally did. Yeah. I had to face who I was
Okay.
and why I
So,
was that way, how I became that way.
yeah. And all the emotions that showed up, and this is where I share with people that you can have multiple emotions showing up at one time. And yes, it can be overwhelming, and what we don't want to do is become emotionally hijacked. But
Mhm.
some of the emotions that you may have been feeling, that anger, did you have the guilt and the shame?
I had all that. I did. My big shame was, why didn't I know? Everybody
Okay.
knew except me, but I did
Mm.
kind of know, you know. Well, I
Yeah.
didn't want to know. So I had to deal with that, and I had to deal with I was angry because I never wanted my kids to come from a what they call a broken
A
home.
broken home. Another statistic. You don't want
Yeah.
them to become a statistic. Yes.
But you know what? It could be two people in the home, it could be broken.
Oh, say that again. Say that again.
It can be two people in the home and it can be a broken home. And that's what I had. I chose for my kids to get out of that situation and be with one very healthy and resilient parent
Ooh.
rather with two broken people. I couldn't help what he was going to do or not do. You know, I could only do it for me and my children. And I think that was the best thing for them.
Ooh, you said a whole lot right there. So just with that mindset, redefining your mindset,
Yes.
shifting your
Do that
perspective.
in my coaching. Yes.
Yes, divorce teaches you perspective, but you have to remove the noise. You have to sit in silence for a little bit
You do. You do.
to see what that perspective is. Like you said, to redefine your boundaries, to
Yeah.
learn your boundaries, regulate those emotions. And I'm not sitting here saying it's going to be easy.
It's not.
And I know you share with your clients, this is not going to be easy, because something you said earlier, you said people didn't realize that there are divorce coaches out there, because what do? When we think about divorce, we automatically think of a lawyer. I got to get a lawyer.
Yes.
And that's it. I
Yes.
want to say that's the only thing we think about is a lawyer, and but
Yes.
not thinking about a
Hmm.
therapist for the children if there's children involved, a
Yeah.
coach for you, that
Hmm.
support system that you said. Because
Yeah.
something you said earlier, you were telling people just enough. So my question for you is, what did it feel like when word got on the street and you had to tell them more? Because what I'm trying to do is, I know you help your clients, but there are listeners out there going, yeah, yeah, yeah. What did she do when the streets found out about your business? How did you respond?
The funny thing is, the street already knew.
Oh yeah, you did say
And
that.
that's
You
where
did
my
say
shame
that.
came in, and
Mhm.
I felt free
Mm.
because I was able to speak all that was going on.
Mhm.
And I felt so free. I've even told my divorce story in depth, if you know what I mean, in depth.
Mm. Yeah.
And so I spilled all my tea because I'm not ashamed, and it's nothing for me to be ashamed of.
Mm.
So I
Mm.
did feel free. I was angry though. I remember being on the phone and I said, "You made a fool of me."
Mm.
Felt like a fool, like all these things because people were coming out of the woodwork telling me stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah,
That you kind of wondered, they came out of the woodwork telling you, you kind of wonder, where were y'all a year ago? Where were y'all? And my thing is y'all saw me, like, you saw me in the church praising God and all that good stuff, but you knew there was turmoil in my
but I feel
relationship.
like I put on such a good front. They thought,
Mm, mm-mm. Well, this is why I say, when I do my workshops and so forth, I say we think we are so good at hiding our behavior. We think we're so good at the mask that we are wearing. And I need everyone to hear me and hear me clear. We suck at it.
We
We
suck
suck
at
at hiding our behavior, and that mask that you have on your face, I know is heavy as shit. I
it. Is.
know it is.
It
I
is
know it is. And now Nicole Bright is here to help you take it off.
definitely because then
Take it
you'll
off.
really know what light is. You'll really know what light is
Mm,
because it
mm,
hurts. It hurts to hold that up. It hurts to put on all that. Then people are expecting things you can't even do for them. You
mm.
show up, you can't do that. You're behaving as if you can, but you can't. And it's hurting you
It is hurting
because
you.
you can't do that. All this the stuff you put on yourself to make people think that you are one way, just be you. Be you. Like and not and re-entering, I deal with re-entering the stages of dating again and all that kind of stuff. I said the best thing is to be you. And if they don't like you, they're not for you.
Mm. It's supposed to say, I am not for everyone, and
Not
everyone
everyone's
is not
for
for
you.
me.
That's right.
That's okay. And I have to
But
say,
it's
I
so hard because we have insecurities within ourselves. And we want
absolutely.
to be someone different sometimes. We want to
Mm,
change ourselves. So we try to depict this person. But the first thing you got to do is love you. Got to
mhm.
fall in love with you, know yourself. And that is a big thing to know yourself.
Yes,
So
that's
much.
self-awareness.
I know I gave you a few things, but that's a big thing. Learning who you are
Mhm,
and
mhm.
loving who you are and even the bad things that you think are bad about yourself. How do you use that? How do you empower yourself through that?
Yes.
When I was a little kid, now this is not a secret, but a secret. I was a storyteller. I was a little liar because I liked attention. No
You
one was
like
giving me attention. So I was just lying about stuff all the time so I get attention. But when I'm on that stage and I'm speaking, I'm telling a story. I
Mhm.
learned that from my childhood. Like
Yeah.
how to just tell a beautiful story. Use everything that's in you because it's in you for a reason.
Ooh, yes. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for so you've already dropped some tools. You've already and listen, and listeners and viewers, if you didn't hear the tools, I need you to hit rewind real quick because she just dropped some nuggets. You dropped lots of nuggets, so take notes. But you've already shared some tools. And what are just like maybe some other maybe specific tools and skills that you tell your clients to use after divorce to heal after divorce?
So one big thing is I have something called find the bright spots in your darkness.
Okay. Okay.
And it's all about your perception and your mindset and how you see things.
Mhm.
Because I have clients that always love to rewrite history, but
Mhm.
because I've listened to their story and I've let them vent, I heard them talk, I call them out on it.
Mhm.
I said, "Oh, you're worrying about Valentine's Day, but you said that he never showed up for Valentine's Day.
Mm.
But now in your singleness, you're like, oh, Valentine's Day is coming. I'm so lonely." But you can no longer live in that because now you're single. Now you have the opportunity to create something new. Your bright spot in that situation is
Mhm.
now you can go out if you want to find a date, or you can go out with some girlfriends. You can be empowered, which
Mhm.
before you didn't. You were on the mercy of this person to make your Valentine's great. So, how about that bright spot now is that you can empower yourself?
How about and you may have kind of insinuated this, but when you were with him or her for Valentine's Day was bad anyway. I mean,
Exactly. That's what I was saying.
you
Yes,
didn't even celebrate it. You didn't even
that's exactly
celebrate it.
right.
But it's just the fact that he was in the home or she was in the home
Right.
on February 14th. Girl, please.
You see
Just
what I'm
like,
saying?
but now you're single. It's like, oh, Valentine's Day.
Right.
And I'm just like, what?
Exactly.
It's just another day. It's just another day. Listen, my husband and I, when we celebrate Valentine's Day, we don't go all out because we love each other every day. Every day. Look, every day
Every
is
day.
Valentine's Day, right?
Every day.
But no, it's we get cards, we recognize the love. There's specific days you recognize the love, you really
Mhm,
call it out. February
mhm.
14th just happens to be one. But all these expensive gifts and expensive dinners, and y'all do that on a Tuesday.
Right, and you're using this to make you depressed. And another thing is
Mm-hmm.
when you're trying to work on yourself, just being as honest as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're lying to yourself, you really can't do the work.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have a talent to really get to know people and connect with them. And I'm not the coach for the person that thinks I'm going to say yes. I'm not the yes coach. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to tell you like it is, and I'm going to help you get to the next level
Right.
and
Right.
show you. But I always show them everything's inside of you. Everything you
Yes.
need is it's my responsibility to help you pull it out and
Right.
to see it manifested on this earth. Because like you said, the pain to passion.
Mhm.
There's
Mhm.
something great happening. It's all in how you see it. Like I said, the mindset. You don't see
Mhm.
it as the ending, you see it as a new beginning. What
Right.
do you get now that you didn't get before? Because when you're becoming one with that person, how many people know that there's things you lied to the wayside to become one?
Mm.
Some of those things you need to pick back up, re-examine, and say, what can I do with this?
Mhm.
Maybe rejuvenate some things with inside your life. Maybe some things you do, you don't even like doing them. You only did them because he or she liked doing them.
Right.
So you have to
Right.
reevaluate your habits, the things you do, your desires, because as you becoming a new you, I mean, it can be so wonderful if you look at it like that and you're
Mm.
not just holding on to what you think was so great in that past, because 9 times out of 10, it's not. And it
It wasn't,
wasn't.
and it wasn't,
It
and it
wasn't.
wasn't. Something you stated, earlier, you know, transforming or redefining your mindset, shifting your mindset, or as I say, reframing your mindset, you know, reality testing things. I know with emotional intelligence, I test reality testing. What that means is I need you
Mm,
to sit back and, um, honestly be honest with yourself, but listen to what you're telling yourself. Listen to what you're telling yourself, and how true is that
how
that
true.
you are telling
Right.
yourself.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that would go back with you in divorce coaching and going, Was it really that great? Or even was it really that bad, in regards to what the situation is, but reality
Right.
testing. So, you know, what I'm hearing from you is that you can transform your mind. You can
Definitely.
redefine your mindset. So I want to ask you this. Usually when I work with my clients, I tell them, I say, you're going to start seeing a shift. 30 days, you might be going, something's going on here. And then I say about 90 days, you really see that change. So for you and your clients, when do you see that light bulb? When do you see that aha moment? Is it 30 days, 2 weeks, the first day
Mhm.
they talk to you?
I I do feel like the first day is the
Mhm.
initial, like, because they see all the possibilities.
Right,
I won't say
right,
no, I won't say it that way. Okay, the first day we have a true one-on-one, because
right.
sometimes the first day they're venting, they're doing a lot of talking, I'm doing a lot of
Absolutely.
assessing. But when we true have a one-on-one and
Mhm,
we correspond, then they're like, "Oh." So I think that is the very first light bulb
mhm,
moment, is when they
mhm.
figure out all the possibilities that this can bring, what we're doing, that we're creating a whole new life. And so then I want to say maybe only about 3 months after. That's what I want to put it at. I want to put it
Okay.
at about 3 months after. And and then they're like seeing like what I said becoming true within their
Mhm,
life.
mhm,
And sometimes when
mhm.
I see stuff, I don't necessarily tell them. I let them work it out for themselves,
Yes.
because it's their life, and I may not be 100% right,
Mhm,
about
mhm,
things I see either, but I'm really like, I know it's in you. Like when they
mhm,
tell me certain stuff, I'm thinking, oh, I'm connecting the dots right now. When you connect the
mhm.
dots, you know how when you were little, you did to connect the dots and you
Uh-huh.
start seeing a
Yeah.
vision, you start
Mhm,
seeing a person come to fruition. So I can see how they became who they are
mhm,
and what they're meant to be by their words. And your words are so important. When we talk about changing that mindset, about
mhm.
that negative talk, I have this exercise, right? And the exercise is you write down all the things you so-called call negative within yourself, right? You write it down on paper
Mhm.
and then you record it in
Mm.
your own voice. You put your ear things in, you look in the mirror and you listen to yourself saying it. It's
Mm.
so powerful because that's really what's happening day to day and you're not paying attention to it. But
Mm.
that's what's happening to you. And so once you listen to yourself, then you got to sit and think, okay, are these things really, like what did you
Mhm.
say, really real, really true?
Is it really true?
And
Right.
yeah, you evaluate that, and then we evaluate, and then some things, guess what? Some things can be true. How about that?
Yeah. There can be there 2 things can be. Yeah.
Exactly. So then you learn, okay, what do I want to do with this? Do I want to
Right.
work on this? Am I tabling this for later? But the thing is just having truth and honesty within your relationship with yourself.
Absolutely. And this is where I tell my clients, there's no guarantee this is not gonna happen overnight, because this is where I say you have to practice this behavior. You wanna practice and show up the person you want to be, and that takes
Mm.
practice. There's gonna be no overnight. That's why I
No,
said there's no overnight success.
no.
I do not believe in overnight successes. You have put in work, you have
Yeah.
planted seeds for all of a sudden it blooms and it booms and you're like, "Oh, oh, look." Yeah, because of the work that you you have done. So
Exactly.
because of the work you've done, right? So something you said I want to point out, make sure people understand, is that you had blurred boundaries and now you've learned how to set and adhere to those boundaries. Listen, I have lots of people that can set boundaries. Everybody, if you hear the sound of my voice, blink twice if you can set boundaries like a boss, right? You set them boundaries. Now, blink twice if you adhere to those boundaries like a boss, because I bet they are loosey goosey. I bet they
It's
are
a
loosey
big
goose.
difference.
There is a big
I was
difference.
a good
So,
bounce setter. I was telling them, yeah, but did I? Yeah, I didn't adhere to anything.
yeah, you didn't hear things. So I need people to understand something I just thought of is like when people talk about closure, because divorce is closure, right? And people think closure is just a conversation. And it's not. Closure is acceptance. And with acceptance, gosh, I'm getting bubbled up with my words today. With acceptance, you have to grieve what
Yes,
you've lost. You have to
yes,
grieve what you lost and
yes.
take time to do that. And something you and I were talking about when we were in the green room before we started recording was, grieving. You take the time you need to grieve, right? The loss, but do become aware when it becomes unhealthy, right?
Yeah,
Because you're gonna have to gain acceptance for the closure to be true closure.
yeah. And the big thing with my clients, how do you grieve someone that's still on this earth? And
Right,
it's a big
right.
thing for them. It is.
Yeah, that is. So listen, you're doing great things in your business. And her business is Nicole Bright LLC. I just love it. I love it. Nicole Bright. I mean, might steal your name. No, I'm joking. It just goes so well together. So Nicole Bright LLC. There's some things that you're doing, but first, before you do that, I'm gonna put how they can reach out to you. I'm first gonna show your social media, Facebook and Instagram. Her handle is Coach Nicole Bright. So go out there and follow her right now. Coach Nicole, Nicole, Bright, Bright. Go follow her now. But how else can they find you? Somebody wanted to email you. Share that email with us.
Coach Nicole Bright at gmail.com.
Okay. So, listeners and viewers, I put all her information, all my guest information in the description. So do not come back to me telling me I didn't know how to reach her. No, I do not. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So it's in there. But Nicole, tell us some of the things that you're working on coming up in that's coming up soon and for 2026. So when they're following you, they can keep up with what you're doing.
Okay. So right now, if anybody knows, the holiday season is coming up. So I have a whole package for those that are newly going through divorce and not used to sharing their kids, not used to the separation. It's called Silent Night, Strong Mornings. So how do you deal with those silent nights and become strong in the mornings? So it's basically just getting them through the holiday season because people get so
Mm-hmm.
lonely, and
Mm-hmm.
especially if they don't have their kids because you have to come up with a whole parenting agreement and you have to
Mm-hmm.
share those kids, and that's probably their first time. They may have them on New Year's Eve, not New Year's Day, but like for Christmas and all
It's
that
not
kind of stuff. So I'm here to help them process all that and just understand what they can do to cope.
okay.
So
So that I love that silent night, strong mornings, and that's something that I don't think people think about with the kids and holidays and birthdays and summers and spring breaks and so forth.
yes,
Yeah.
and for
Yeah.
me, I was closer to my ex's family than my own.
Mm.
So I was no longer going to their functions. So where do I go? What do I do?
Mm.
So I know for me that was a big thing. So that's one
That's
of the reasons why I decided to do that. And
that's so.
then in 2026, I'm having 3 different summits.
Mm.
And they're for every stage of the divorce process. So the first is for separation, because here
Okay.
in North Carolina in general, because I'm not from North Carolina, but when I
Mhm.
came here and I found this out, I thought it was so interesting that you guys separate a whole year
Yes.
before you can
Mhm.
file for divorce.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so this is made for them. So this is for the people that need help during this period of time. The first summit. The second summit is for those that are going currently going through divorce. And then the third and last one of the year is going to be for the people post divorce, after divorce.
Okay.
So each
Okay.
summit is focusing on each stage of the divorce process. So
Okay.
I will have like a lawyer there. I will have maybe a person to help you with your finances there.
Mm-hmm.
Someone that will help you maybe with insurance, because some people when they separate from their spouse they don't no longer have the same health insurance and stuff,
Right.
so that will help them with that kind of stuff. So all things pertaining to the stage of divorce that you're in.
Okay. That's good. So I'm glad yeah, I connected you with someone. So I hope that relationship works out, that they can help you with the summits. And if you already follow me on YouTube right here, 3 summits. Did I spell summit right? SUMMIT. Is it 2
Yeah,
T's or 2 M's? Okay. Sometimes
you
you look
did
at the
good.
words and you're like, oh, I just want to make sure that I spelled that right. Listen, if you're watching me on YouTube, you're probably like, yeah, Nicole, you spelled it right. Listen. Hey, I'm human. I'm human. I have a typo every once in a while.
I love that. That's a big thing. I'm human. Yes.
Yes.
I just say to
Yes.
people sometimes, I'm sorry, I just don't know that.
Yeah,
Can you
I just
explain
don't
that
know.
to me? It's okay.
That's hard that's a whole nother episode. That's hard for
No,
people to sit here and say, I do not know, tell me more. Or, can you spell that
that's
for
the
me?
way I learn now. That is the way I learn, by admitting what I don't know.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm gonna put your email up again. To reach out to Nicole Bright, you go to Coach Nicole Bright at gmail.com. Like I said, all her information is going to be in the description of your favorite podcast platform as well as the YouTube description. Do not sit here and tell me you could not find her. I know there is a listener or a viewer out there where this hit home, and the one thing I want to make sure that you do leave with from me, because I'm going to get one little more nugget from Nicole Bright, but leave from me is that there's no shame in divorce. And this is where you got to decide whether you're going to use this pain as a mirror or a wall. And yeah, so there's no shame in divorce. As Nicole said, there are other people on the street that probably already know what's going on in your relationship, and you're just not opening your eyes to it. So I'm just going to put that out there. But Nicole, I want you to give the listeners and viewers one more last nugget that they can leave with, and then we'll close out.
Okay. So I think that the most important thing I want to say is your voice matters. And I think sometimes we feel like we've lost our voice to situations, and know that you are creating your life. You're not a bystander in this life. And so you decide what you are going to do. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
if you are a believer, you have God over you and you adhere to that. But you are co creator with Him because He's giving you the power to
Mm-hmm.
do what you need to do. So I just want you to know that no matter what you're going through, whether you're the initiator of the divorce or someone initiated it on you, just know that it takes two to have this relationship. And if two people are not willing to work together, it is your time to step out of that season into your brand new season. And sometimes you may need help doing that. So I just want you to know that no matter if it's me or someone else, another professional, get to someone, allow them to help you, because this is not a time to be an island to yourself. It's not. It's a time to gather a support group, a circle of people that can truly help you. And sometimes that may not be your best girlfriend, because there's things that you can't say or do in front of that person. You need someone that can give their honest, true perception of the situation, that's been trained and will lead and guide you and help you build what's in on the inside, on the outside. So I just I really encourage you to trust yourself, because sometimes you don't trust yourself anymore. Trust yourself and know that you do have a new beginning, a new life, and you can be okay. You can start over again. And I always say, all I need is health and God, and I can get through anything. My health and my God. So that's my mantra. So divorce is not the end, but it is a new beginning, and I'm for it. I'm for anybody wanting to create their life on their guidelines. And so that's what I do. We make guidelines, we make a mantra, we make a mission statement, we have a song of anthem. We do all that in order to secure a brighter future And that's not
Mhm.
just for you. If you have kids involved, it's for your kids too. Because when I told my daughter my total divorce story, she says, Mama, I would have never thought that because of how you carried yourself. And she didn't even know all the pain I was going through because
Mhm.
it was about them. I didn't speak ill of their father.
Mm. Ooh, that's a whole nother episode right there.
I know. I didn't even deal with parents. I didn't. I
Mm.
apologize, but
No, you're
that's a
fine.
whole nother ball of wax. But I'm just saying, just how you carry yourself and deal with things for your children.
Right. No. That's okay. So you just teased the viewers because again, I know it has hit home for one or two of you. And Nicole said she didn't talk much about parents, but if you have children involved, this you need to reach out to Nicole. Reach out to Nicole Bright, email her at coachnicolebright@gmail.com and know that she can not only help you navigate the divorce with your spouse, but navigate the children that are
Mhm.
also too involved. And yes, we say children are resilient. They are.
They are.
But me being a child of divorce, I was very observant. Many of the reasons why I do what I do today, I was very observant. Children see things, they hear things, they observing and they're soaking it up.
That's
Okay,
right.
so yeah. So listen, we'll stop here because we could probably talk another 45 minutes to an hour in regards to parenting and children as you go through a divorce. But that is just if anything, a reason to reach out to you, Nicole, in helping deal with the children that are involved as well. Nicole Bright. Oh, you have made my day bright. You have made my day bright. This was
Thank
an
you.
amazing conversation. I see why your clients come to you. Yeah. And if I was a mentee of yours during that time, I'd have been like, you want to be a life coach? I would have probably asked you to because you share that wisdom and that those nuggets. And one thing that you did say as a coach, you don't figure it out for them. You guide them. They figure it out because it's their life. And
That's
I'm so
right.
glad you said that because
That's
as a
right.
coach, that's what we do.
That's
And
right.
let's see, and you said one more thing too. It's like, coach, I'm not that coach. I'm gonna help you see what you don't see. I'm gonna help you, you know, look for things that you're not looking for. I'm that coach. And it sounds like you're that coach too. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to wrap it up. And Nicole, like I said,
Thank
thank you so
you.
much. And
No, thank you.
everyone, my listeners and my viewers, if you did not pick up any gems or any nuggets, you need to hit rewind. You can listen to this over and over again because she dropped some gems. And Nicole Bright, thank you so much. As I state, I have dope guests. And until next time, I want all of you out there to be emotionally brilliant at home, at work, and in the community. Talk to you soon. Wow. I hope you took some good notes. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Blow Your Mindset podcast, where we are challenging your perspective. We're redefining your mindset. We're sparking your curiosity and maximizing your EQ. Make sure you follow our guest. All their contact information is in the description. Of course, follow me, Nicole Smith. Subscribe so you know when new episodes drop. All my contact information is on the screen if you're watching via YouTube or in the podcast description. Hope to hear from you soon. I want to hear from you soon. And continue being emotionally brilliant every day. Signing off. Until next time, Nicole Smith.